All right, so today we're going deep on 50 Cent. You know, rapper, entrepreneur, that guy from the vitamin water deal. But there's way more to his story than just the headlines. We're going to unpack what made him who he is, how he went from the streets of Queens to a global brand. And our source for all of this is like a 50 Cent biography. It's got all the inside scoop.
Yeah, what's fascinating about 50 Cent is he's not just a rapper. He's really a master of reinvention. And so this deep dive is all about uncovering the strategies, the resilience, the just sheer determination that took him to the top over and over.
So let's go back to the beginning. South Jamaica, Queens in the 80s. Not exactly, the most glamorous place to grow up.
No, definitely not. Imagine growing up surrounded by poverty and crime, and then at just 8 years old, 50 Cent loses his mom, Sabrina, to murder. Talk about a defining moment. That kind of loss at such a young age, it shapes you.
It's heartbreaking, and this biography really paints a vivid picture of his childhood. He's raised by his grandparents, sharing a house with 8 aunts and uncles. It's like, how do you even find space to dream in that situation?
Yeah, and to make matters worse, his father wasn't around either. So you've got this young boy dealing with this unimaginable loss and limited opportunities, feeling the pressure to provide for himself. It's really no wonder he turned to the streets.
Yeah, by 12, he's already involved in drug dealing. But the source mentions he was actually into boxing. Kind of a missed opportunity, right?
You know, boxing is often seen as a way out, a legitimate path to success. But for 50 Cent, the pull of the streets was too strong, especially during the crack epidemic. He was making serious money, but it came at a huge cost, surrounded by danger, police encounters, gang violence, high-stakes life for sure.
And then in 94, he gets arrested for selling to an undercover cop. Ends up in boot camp, but that's also where he gets his GED. Seems like maybe a turning point, like maybe a chance to change his path.
Yeah, absolutely. It's around this time that he really dives into music. He takes on the name 50 Cent, inspired by a Brooklyn criminal. And it's not just a cool name. It represents transformation, this fierce desire to succeed, by any means necessary.
Whoa, so that's where the name comes from. I always thought it had this kind of mysterious vibe to it. Then in 96, he meets Jam Master Jay from Run DMC. I mean, that's a hip-hop legend. What an amazing mentor to have.
Oh, it was a game changer. Jam Master Jay took him under his wing, teaching him the ropes of songwriting, all the technical stuff. Unfortunately, their collaboration got cut short because Jam Master Jay's label was struggling.
Oh, that's too bad. But it was enough to get him noticed, right? He signs with Columbia Records in the late 90s. And then in 99, he drops How to Rob, this super controversial track. He's calling out other rappers. Pretty bold move for a new artist.
It was a statement, for sure. Raw, provocative. It definitely put him on the map. He was showcasing his talent, his storytelling, his bravado. But it also ruffled some feathers in the industry. Some saw it as disrespectful, while others recognized his lyrical genius.
Yeah,
maybe as a clever marketing tactic.
Yeah, clever for sure. But then things take a really dark turn. In 2000, he's ambushed and shot outside his grandmother's house. The same place he found refuge after his mother's death. 9 times. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, this was a huge turning point in his life. And the source highlights how one of the bullets actually hit his cheek, permanently changing his voice. That slight slur that became part of his signature sound. It could have been a devastating setback, but hitting his trademark.
It's crazy how something so tragic could become such a distinctive part of his style. But it gets worse. Columbia Records drops him. He's blacklisted by the industry. You'd think that would be the end for most people.
Yeah, it really shows the brutal side of the music business. One minute you're on top, and the next you're yesterday's news. Especially if you're seen as a liability.
50 Cent's a fighter, though. He doesn't give up. He starts recording mixtapes, building a following underground, proving he's not going anywhere. He forms G-Unit with his friends Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks, and these mixtapes start getting serious buzz.
This is where you see his resilience and hustle. He's channeling his pain, his experiences, into his music, connecting with people in a raw and authentic way. And the mixtapes, they weren't just random track. They were strategic, building anticipation, solidifying his image as this, street-smart survivor.
And then Eminem enters the picture. He hears these mixtapes, sees the raw talent, and he introduces 50 Cent to Dr. Dre. I mean, talk about a game changer.
Eminem was already a superstar, and he recognized something special in 50 Cent. Introducing him to Dr. Dre, a production genius, was like handing him the keys to the kingdom. Signing with Shady Records, under the Aftermath Interscope label, gave him the platform he needed to reach a global audience.
And in 2003, boom, Get Rich or Die Trying drops. It debuts at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling over 800,000 copies in the first week. In Day Club, 21 Questions, PIMP, these songs become anthems. We're talking massive mainstream success.
The album was the perfect storm. Raw, gritty storytelling combined with Dr. Dre's polished production. It created a sound that resonated with everyone, from hardcore hip-hop fans to people who had never really listened to rap before.
Yeah, it was everywhere. He gets nominated for a Grammy, becomes one of the highest-selling artists of the year. And he doesn't just ride the wave, he builds on it. He launches G-Unit Records, signing Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Tony Yayo. G-Unit becomes more than music, it's a brand.
And this is where you see his business acumen. He's not just a rapper, he's building an empire. He understands branding, diversification, leveraging his fame to create multiple revenue streams.
Yeah, he's a businessman for sure. And then there's the vitamin water deal. He partners with Glacéau, puts his face on their bottles. And when Coca-Cola buys the company in 2007, he walks away with a reported $100 million. I mean, this wasn't just luck. It was a stroke of genius.
You see, this is where his vision comes in. He saw the potential of this brand that was on the rise, aligned himself with it, and used his own image to boost its appeal. It wasn't just about making money. It was about building a legacy.
And hold on, because it doesn't stop there. He starts acting, making his debut in Get Rich or Die Tryin', the movie based on his life. Then he lands other roles, even starts his own production company, G-Unit Films.
The man is relentless. He's constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new avenues, applying his street smarts to every industry he touches. You have to admire that kind of drive.
For sure. But it's not all smooth sailing. He gets caught up in some pretty infamous feuds with other rappers. Ja Rule, Fat Joe, The Game, diss tracks going back and forth, interviews, the media's going crazy. It kept him in the spotlight, but also generated a lot of controversy.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about whether those feuds helped or hurt his career in the long run. Like, they definitely generated buzz and kept him relevant. But did they overshadow his music? Did they maybe alienate potential fans? It's a complex dynamic.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And his later albums, Curtis in 2007 and Before I Self-Destruct in 2009, they don't quite reach the same level of success as Get Rich or Die Trying. It seems like he was shifting his focus more towards business around this time.
Yeah, he was diversifying his portfolio, investing in real estate, boxing, even publishing. 50 Cent was playing the long game, building a legacy that extended beyond music. He was thinking like a CEO, not just a celebrity.
Smart. But then things take an unexpected turn. In the 2010s, lawsuits and failed investments start to pile up, ultimately leading to him declaring bankruptcy in 2015. Pretty shocking headline for someone who was once considered one of the wealthiest figures in hip-hop.
Well, here's the thing about bankruptcy. It doesn't always mean you're broke. It's often a legal strategy to restructure debt. Get a fresh start, protect your assets.
Ah, I see. So he bounces back, right? He becomes an executive producer and actor in this hit TV show, Power, which runs from 2014 to 2020 and even spawns multiple spin-offs. Talk about a comeback. He's basically a television mogul now.
This is yet another example of his ability to adapt and reinvent himself. He took his street knowledge, his life experiences, and applied them to a new medium, created a successful television franchise.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground, from poverty in Queens to music stardom, business ventures, feuds, bankruptcy, and a TV comeback. 50 Cent's journey has been anything but predictable. What are some insights that stand out to you so far?
What strikes me is his relentless hustle. 50 Cent isn't afraid to take risks, try new things, to learn from his failures. He understands that success is not a straight line. It's about adapting to the ever-changing landscape, leveraging every opportunity.
It's inspiring, right? He shows that even when you hit rock bottom, you can always find a way to climb back up. But what really fascinates me is how he used the name 50 Cent to represent transformation. It wasn't just about the money, it was about taking control of his destiny. It makes you wonder, what could you transform in your own life? What are you willing to fight for?
50 Cent's journey really makes you think about what success really means. It's not just about money or fame. It's about that drive to overcome obstacles and to reinvent yourself. He never let setbacks define him.
No, he never did. And speaking of reinvention, let's talk about his impact on hip-hop. He emerged at a time when the genre was evolving, and he definitely left his mark.
Yeah, his style was like a breath of fresh air. Gritty, raw, unapologetic. Those hard-hitting beats, the lyrics straight from the streets, they resonated with a massive audience. He brought this raw energy to the mainstream. And people connected with his authenticity.
He wasn't afraid to talk about where he came from, the violence, the poverty, the hustle. And he did it with this confidence and swagger. It was intimidating and inspiring at the same time.
Yeah, it was like he was saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And you can't forget his storytelling ability. He could paint these vivid pictures with his words, create narratives that drew you in. Whether it was his own experiences or fictional stories, he had this way of making you feel like you were right there with him.
You mentioned earlier how the shooting changed his voice, gave him that distinctive slur. It's amazing how something that could have ended his career became part of his signature style.
It really is. It's a testament to his resilience. Instead of letting it define him, he incorporated it into his art. It became part of what made him unique, recognizable. He turned his adversity into a superpower.
It's true. And it's not just his music. His impact goes beyond hip-hop, into business, acting, his whole persona. He's become a cultural icon.
He embodies a version of the American dream, but with a grittier, more realistic edge. He achieved success on his own terms, defied expectations, proved that anything is possible with hard work and determination, but also strategic thinking and an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, he's got it all. But he's also been a controversial figure. The feuds, the legal troubles, some of his lyrics, they've sparked a lot of debate over the years.
It's important to acknowledge the complexity of his legacy. He's not a perfect role model.
Yeah.
And there are definitely aspects of his career that people might find problematic. But that's part of what makes him so interesting to study. He's a product of his environment, a reflection of the society he came from.
Right. He's a reminder that success isn't always a smooth ride. There are going to be bumps in the road, mistakes made, lessons learned. It's how you navigate those challenges and come out stronger. That truly defines you.
And it's about using your platform, your influence, to make a difference. Whether it's empowering others, giving back to your community, or just sharing your story to inspire. True success goes beyond personal gain.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life of 50 Cent, what are some key takeaways that our listeners should really hold on to?
For me, it's the importance of adaptability. The music industry is always changing. And 50 Cent has shown that to stay relevant, you have to be willing to change with the times. He never limited himself to just one thing. He's a rapper, a businessman, an actor, a producer, a master of reinvention.
Yeah, he really is. And he never let the fear of failure hold him back. He took risks, some paid off, some didn't, but he always learned from those experiences and kept moving forward.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder that setbacks aren't the end of the story. They're often the beginning of something even greater.
It's just incredible how 50 Cent has defied expectations time and time again. He took the name 50 Cent, the symbol of struggle, of survival, and turned it into this, global brand.
It really is all about transformation.
Yeah.
He didn't just want to make money. He wanted to change the game,
Mhm.
prove that someone from his background could achieve anything.
Yeah, he really flipped the script. He took the pain, the hardship, and turned it into fuel for his success, like a reminder that our experiences, even the tough ones, they can shape us into something powerful.
For sure. And he didn't just climb the ladder. He built a new one, created opportunities for others. Through G-Unit, his production company, all those business ventures, he showed us that success isn't just about personal gain. It's about empowering your community.
That's what makes his legacy so interesting, so compelling. He's not just a rapper or an actor or a businessman. He's a force of nature, a testament to the power of, you know, resilience, hustle, never giving up.
And he did it all while staying true to himself. Never tried to fit into a mold or compromise his vision. He embraced his authenticity, and that's what connected with so many people.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life of 50 Cent, I want to leave you with this thought. His journey is a reminder that success isn't a destination, it's an evolution. It's about adapting, learning, using your experiences, good and bad, to fuel your growth. What can you transform in your own life? What dreams are you chasing? 50 Cent shows us that anything is possible. If you're willing to put in the work, never back down from a challenge.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into